Well, this is one of these stories that you just scratch your head and say, what in the hell was that teacher thinking when it comes to this little 5-year-old girl? And when you see the video of her, which I did earlier today, she's just the cutest little girl. She is so sweet. She's down in Florida in a little kindergarten school near Orlando. And I want to play an excerpt of this little video that her parents put up on YouTube to illustrate what happened to her. So here's the setup, and then you can hear it in her own words, okay? This little girl, she's the daughter of Marcos and Kathy Perez, and she came home and told them a story, so they decided to take out their iPhone, and they videotaped it, and they put it up on YouTube for all to see. So here's the setup. The little girl, earlier in March, first couple of weeks of March, she's at school, and she's got her little lunch, and it's time for lunch, so she goes to the cafeteria, which is overseen by a teacher who has, like a cafeteria monitor duty type of thing, all right? And she takes out her lunch, and as she was instructed by her Christian parents, and her father has a business in a Christian publishing. He's a vice president of sales at a company called Charisma House, a Christian book publisher. So, as you might imagine, since they are a Christian family and involved in a Christian business, they told her that before you eat a meal, you must say grace. And so she tried to say grace. She said, I folded my hands, and she shows on the video how she folded her hands together in her prayerful attitude. And I'll let her tell the rest of the story.
And my lunch teacher told me that when I was about to say something, she said, you're not allowed to pray.
She said you're not allowed to pray?
Yeah.
And then what did you tell her?
It's good to pray.
Yeah.
And she just said, it's not good.
No, she said it's not good, or she just said no?
She said it's not good.
And so then what did you do?
I said, it is good.
Yeah.
But she said, it's not good.
Okay, and then what did you do after that?
I was trying to pray, but I just couldn't because they caught me again.
I was trying to pray, but I just couldn't because they caught me again. That's a little fight. She was the cutest little kid. And by the way, all that noise in the back, I don't know what the heck that was, but it sounds like maybe her brother's, playing his drums or something. I don't know. That would drive me crazy. Just your ears were not deceiving you. It sounds like somebody playing the drums in the background or practicing. All right, so that's the story. And the Perez family, is, as you can understand, is pretty upset about this, and they're planning now to, at least for the time being, homeschool their little daughter. Now, on the line with us from the Liberty Institute, senior counsel with the Liberty Institute on our 84 Lumber Newsline, Jeremy Dice. And Jeremy, first of all, welcome to KDKA.
Well, thank you for having me, and I'm glad to see that the Bucks are above 500.
Yeah, exactly. We're off to a pretty darn good start. Tell me just briefly about what your organization does, and then we'll talk about why you got involved in this.
Liberty Institute is founded to defend and preserve religious liberty according to the vision of the Founding Fathers. And we believe that the Founding Fathers provided a robust religious liberty set for us to be able to follow and pursue. And we are dedicated to working that vision across the country and defending little girls like the Perez family has here. And we defend religious liberty in the public square, in the schools, in the military, and in the churches as well.
Okay. And so how did you get involved with this? And by the way, I've never seen a name for this little girl. Are they deliberately keeping her name out of the news?
Yeah, as you can imagine, like a little girl, a good dad like Marcos just wants to try to protect his daughter as much as possible, and he's done a fair job of doing that here. But, I saw it probably like a lot of you did. I saw it on Facebook, and thankfully I was able to get a hold of Marcos and say, hey, how can we help you? We want to stand beside young women like this who are trying to do what their parents have taught them to do and have every right to do under the First Amendment, and we want to come beside them. And unlike the teacher supervisor here, encourage their religious liberty.
Well, and this is not the first time that some misguided, I'll use a charitable term, school official or teacher has done something like this. It's just amazing to me that she would do it in the fashion that she did with the 5-year-old, telling her, according to the 5-year-old, if this is to be believed, and the kid, I don't know, sounds plausible to me, saying that, well, it's not good to pray. And then the most telling line of all was the last one there in that clip, where she says, "Well, I tried to again, but I couldn't because they caught me." It's that to me. I actually got chills when I heard that because it just reminded me of the kind of oppressive atmosphere that we've decried and criticized in other places on this planet, but not in the United States. And so
That's right.
I found that. So what is your organization doing for this family?
Well, we have sent a letter this morning to the school board here in Oviedo, Florida, asking them to take immediate action, to apologize to the community for what has gone on at the school, and to reassure the community here and the Perez family in particular that this kind of thing's not going to happen again. Look, students can pray at school. That's very clear. The First Amendment of the Constitution makes that abundantly clear, and if that weren't enough, the Supreme Court held in 1969 that at that time, in 1969, it had been settled law, they said, for over 50 years that students do not give up their constitutional rights when they walk through the schoolhouse gate. Well, that was 1969, so we're looking much more time now that's been settled law for decades here. And if that's not enough, federal policy at the Department of Education specifically says that students are permitted to say grace at lunch. So they have violated not only the Constitution, the Supreme Court precedent, but also federal policy that is going to put their federal funding in jeopardy if they don't get a handle on this real quick.